15. Worst jerks in R&B history. Some of the most iconic names in R&B history are also linked to some of the darkest and most shocking controversies. From violent outbursts to criminal acts that shook the world, these artists may have ruled the charts, but their personal lives were far from the perfection their fans imagined. In today's video, we're diving deep into the lives of the 15 worst jerks in R&B history, individuals whose behavior offstage is as infamous as their legendary careers. Do you agree with our list, or is there someone we missed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more. Rick James. Rick James was a pioneering figure in the music industry, particularly in the realms of funk and R&B. Born on February 1, 1948 in Buffalo, New York, he had an early passion for music, influenced by artists such as James Brown and Sly Stone. His career took off in the 1970s, when he signed with Motown, where he formed the Stone City Band. His unique sound combined funk, soul, and rock, and his 1978 album Come Get It propelled him into superstardom. Hits like Super Freak and Give It To Me Baby made him a household name and set the stage for a successful career as both a singer and a producer. However, despite his musical brilliance, Rick James's personal life was filled with turmoil. His relationship with drugs was a significant part of his downfall. Starting with marijuana in his youth, James's drug use escalated throughout his career, particularly in the 1980s, with heavy cocaine and heroin use. This addiction took a severe toll on his health and personal relationships, often causing erratic behavior that put him at odds with his friends, colleagues, and the law. He was notorious for his reckless lifestyle, which included frequent partying and aggressive behavior when under the influence of drugs. In 1991, James's darkest moment came when he and his girlfriend, Tanya Hijazi, were arrested after holding a woman named Frances Alley hostage for 6 days during a drug binge. The charges against him were serious, including kidnapping, assault, and torture. He faced the possibility of life in prison, but after serving 2 years in Folsom Prison, he was released. However, this incident marked the beginning of a steady decline in both his career and public image. Even though he continued to record and tour in the years following his release, he never fully regained the level of respect or success he once had. James was no stranger to legal issues and scandal. In 1992, while out on bail for the hostage incident, he was involved in another violent altercation, this time with a music executive named Mary Sager, whom he allegedly assaulted and held captive in a hotel room for 20 hours. Though he avoided a life sentence, the numerous legal and personal issues, along with his growing reputation as a volatile figure, overshadowed his musical legacy. Rick James's legacy is complicated. While his music influenced countless artists and defined an era of funk, his personal struggles with addiction, violence, and the law ultimately clouded his reputation. He passed away on August 6, 2004, due to heart failure, exacerbated by his years of drug use. Despite the controversies, his impact on music remains undeniable, and his classic hits continue to be celebrated by fans and artists alike. But the shadow of his troubled life remains intertwined with his artistic legacy, making him a figure of both admiration and caution. James Brown. James Brown, born on May 3, 1933 in Barnwell, South Carolina, was one of the most influential figures in the history of American music. Known as the Godfather of Soul, Brown's career spanned over 5 decades, and he was a major force in shaping the development of soul, funk, and R&B music. With his unique voice, electrifying performances, and tireless work ethic, Brown's music left an indelible mark on the world, influencing artists across a variety of genres. His career began in the 1950s, but it was in the 1960s and 1970s that he truly found international fame with hits like I Got You, I Feel Good, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, and Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Brown was known not just for his powerful voice and energetic stage presence, but also for his innovative contributions to music. He revolutionized the rhythm section, pioneering the one-chord style that would become a hallmark of funk music. His work in the studio, particularly with his band, The Famous Flames, set the foundation for modern funk music and inspired the next generation of artists. His influence reached far beyond music, as he was an outspoken figure during the civil rights movement, using his platform to promote racial pride and social justice. However, for all of his artistic brilliance, Brown's personal life was marred by a series of troubling incidents. Brown's reputation as an aggressive and volatile individual became well known, particularly in his later years. His legal history was extensive, with numerous arrests throughout his life, many related to violent behavior. Brown had a tumultuous relationship with his wives, particularly his third wife, Adrienne Rodriguez. Between 1987 and 1995, he was arrested multiple times for assaulting her, with some incidents involving weapons. In one particularly shocking case, Brown allegedly beat her with an iron pipe. Brown's aggressive behavior was not confined to his personal life. His interactions with the law became a regular occurrence. One of the most notorious incidents in Brown's life occurred in 1988, when he was arrested after leading police on a high-speed chase across state lines. He was convicted of carrying an unlicensed firearm, assaulting a police officer, and drug-related offenses, resulting in a 6-year prison sentence. In addition to his criminal behavior, Brown's financial troubles also added to his woes. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Brown was deeply in debt, facing significant financial difficulties due to mismanagement of his finances and the impact of his erratic personal life. Despite these struggles, James Brown's music remained hugely influential. He continued to tour and perform well into his later years, and he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986, one of the first artists to receive the honor. Yet for all of his musical genius and contributions to the industry, his legacy is deeply tied to the darker aspects of his life. Brown passed away on December 25, 2006, at the age of 73, but his passing was overshadowed by controversy, as his will was contested by family members and his estate became a legal battleground. James Brown's life is a testament to the complexity of fame and the impact of personal demons. While his musical genius shaped generations and defined the sounds of soul and funk, his legacy is also a cautionary tale of how genius and personal turmoil can coexist, leaving behind a complicated and multifaceted story. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is often remembered as one of the greatest voices in the history of soul and R&B music. Born on April 2, 1939 in Washington, D.C., Gaye's musical career was nothing short of extraordinary. His smooth, emotionally charged voice and ability to blend social consciousness with sensuality set him apart from his peers. After starting as a session musician at Motown, he quickly gained recognition with his own releases such as I Heard It Through the Grapevine and What's Going On, the latter of which became an anthem for the civil rights movement and is still considered one of the greatest albums ever made. However, behind Gaye's musical genius was a life filled with personal turmoil and addiction. By the early 1980s, Gaye had become addicted to cocaine, and his personal and professional life began to unravel. The pressures of fame, his strained relationship with his family, and mounting financial difficulties contributed to his emotional instability. Gaye's paranoia grew to such an extent that he believed people were plotting against him. He took extreme measures to protect himself, hiring armed bodyguards and wearing bulletproof vests. These erratic behaviors were compounded by his worsening addiction and intense mood swings. In addition to his drug abuse, Gaye also suffered from depression and personal struggles that left him mentally and emotionally drained. His marriage to Anna Gordy, Motown founder Berry Gordy's sister, ended in divorce in 1977, and his personal life remained rocky after that. He found solace in his music, but it was evident that the pressures of his career and personal demons were too much to bear. Tragically, Marvin Gaye's life ended in violence on April 1, 1984, when he was shot and killed by his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., after a heated argument in their home in Los Angeles. This shocking event was the culmination of years of psychological distress and family conflict. Gaye's death marked the end of an era in music. But his influence continues to reverberate through the world of soul and R&B, where his albums remain celebrated, and his voice still resonates in the hearts of fans worldwide. Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was a seminal figure in the rise of New Jack Swing and one of the breakout stars of R&B during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Born on February 5, 1969 in Boston, Massachusetts, Brown first rose to fame as a member of the influential boy band New Edition. However, it was his solo career that propelled him to superstardom. His second album, Don't Be Cruel, 1988, was a massive success, spawning hits like My Prerogative and Every Little Step, and solidifying him as a major solo artist. Despite his success, Bobby Brown's personal life was filled with controversy and scandal. His marriage to Whitney Houston in 1992 made headlines globally, but it was also the beginning of a tumultuous period in his life. Both Brown and Houston battled addiction, which placed a strain on their relationship. Brown's struggles with drugs, particularly alcohol and cocaine, overshadowed his career and led to multiple arrests over the years. His volatile behavior, including run-ins with the law, earned him a reputation for being unpredictable and difficult to work with. Brown's legal troubles were frequent and well documented. In 1995, he was arrested for assaulting a hotel security guard, and in 1996, he faced multiple DUI charges. His marriage to Houston, though filled with love at times, ultimately ended in divorce in 2007, largely due to the pressures of their personal struggles. Brown's actions continued to draw attention to his tumultuous life, including a 2003 arrest for crashing Houston's car while driving under the influence. He was also involved in a child support battle, owing large amounts of money in arrears. Despite these setbacks, Bobby Brown never completely disappeared from the spotlight. He continued to release music, though his personal problems often overshadowed his artistic work. In addition to his career challenges, Brown also struggled with maintaining a stable family life, facing financial problems and continued legal issues. Despite his battles, Bobby Brown's contributions to R&B are undeniable, and his influence on the genre, especially the development of New Jack Swing, has left a lasting impact. However, his legacy is a complex one, defined as much by his personal struggles as by his undeniable talent. R. Kelly. R. Kelly. Born on January 8, 1967, in Chicago, Illinois, was once one of the most successful and influential R&B artists of all time. Known for his smooth voice and innovative contributions to R&B and pop music, Kelly dominated the charts in the 1990s and early 2000s with hits like I Believe I Can Fly, Ignition Remix, and Bump and Grind. His songwriting and production abilities made him one of the most sought-after artists, earning him multiple Grammy Awards and making him a household name across the world. Despite his musical success, Kelly's life has been marred by controversy, particularly due to the numerous allegations of sexual abuse, many involving minors. As early as the 1990s, rumors of his inappropriate relationships with underage girls began to surface. But it wasn't until the 2002 release of a disturbing sex tape, allegedly showing Kelly with a minor, that the public scrutiny intensified. Although he was acquitted of the charges in 2008 due to insufficient evidence, the accusations continued to haunt him throughout his career. Kelly's personal life became increasingly chaotic, with several women coming forward to accuse him of abuse, exploitation, and coercion. In 2019, the documentary Surviving R. Kelly brought renewed attention to the allegations, prompting a new wave of investigations. As a result, Kelly was arrested on multiple charges related to sexual abuse, child pornography, and racketeering. In 2021, after years of legal battles, he was convicted on federal charges, including sex trafficking and the abuse of minors. His sentencing in 2022 resulted in a 30-year prison sentence, effectively ending his career. Kelly's story is a cautionary tale of how a powerful musical legacy can be overshadowed by personal misdeeds. His actions not only destroyed his career, but also deeply hurt the many victims who suffered from his abuse. R. Kelly's name will forever be associated with his criminal acts, forever tarnishing the contributions he made to the music world. Chris Brown. Chris Brown, born on May 5, 1989 in Tappahannock, Virginia, quickly became one of the most prominent R&B artists of the 2000s with his undeniable talent for singing, dancing, and songwriting. Bursting onto the scene in 2005 with his self-titled debut album, which featured the hit Run It, Brown became an instant star. His smooth voice, impressive dance moves, and boyish charm made him a favorite of many, and he was poised for a long, successful career in music. Hits like Forever With You and Look at Me Now solidified his place in mainstream pop culture. However, despite his early success, Chris Brown's career has been repeatedly overshadowed by his involvement in various controversies and legal troubles, most notably his 2009 assault of then-girlfriend Rihanna. The domestic violence incident was widely publicized and led to intense public backlash. Brown was arrested and later pled guilty to felony assault, which resulted in probation, community service, and domestic violence counseling. His actions during this period were highly criticized, and it sparked a long-lasting debate about his behavior, especially among his fans and the general public. Unfortunately, this was just the beginning of a string of troubling incidents that followed Brown throughout his career. In 2016, he was involved in a standoff with the Los Angeles police after a woman accused him of threatening her with a gun. He was arrested and charged, but later released. Further controversies, including accusations of violent behavior and anger management issues, followed him throughout his career, affecting his public image. In 2019, he was involved in a legal battle related to a 2017 lawsuit in which a woman accused him of sexual assault, although the case was dismissed. Despite the significant backlash, Chris Brown has managed to maintain a successful music career, consistently releasing albums and collaborating with other artists. However, his history of violence, legal troubles, and erratic behavior has made him a polarizing figure in the music industry. His career trajectory serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of fame, talent, and personal responsibility. While his musical talents are undeniable, his actions off-stage continue to define much of his public image, making him one of the most controversial figures in modern R&B. Britney Spears. Britney Spears, born on December 2, 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, was destined for stardom from an early age. Known for her infectious pop hits and energetic performances, she quickly became one of the most iconic pop stars of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Spears first rose to fame with her debut single, Baby One More Time, in 1998, which skyrocketed to the top of the charts and became one of the best-selling singles of all time. Her success continued with albums like Oops, I Did It Again 2000 and Britney 2001, cementing her as a global superstar. However, Spears' journey to the top was marred by personal struggles that became highly publicized. Her whirlwind rise to fame, combined with intense media scrutiny, took a toll on her mental health. In 2004, she made headlines when she married childhood friend Jason Allen Alexander in a Las Vegas ceremony that lasted only 55 hours. Later that year, she married dancer Kevin Federline, with whom she had 2 sons. However, their tumultuous marriage and subsequent divorce were just the beginning of her struggles. In 2007, Britney's mental health issues became impossible to ignore. Amid a highly publicized divorce and custody battle for her children, she suffered a series of breakdowns that included shaving her head and being hospitalized for psychiatric evaluations. Her erratic behavior and the constant paparazzi attention led to a conservatorship being placed on her by the courts in 2008, giving her father, Jamie Spears, control over her financial and personal decisions. This conservatorship lasted for 13 years, during which Britney's every move was watched by the public, and her freedom was severely restricted. The conservatorship and its subsequent end in 2021 after a legal battle brought attention to the mistreatment and control Britney endured for much of her adult life. Throughout these years, despite the challenges she faced, Britney continued to release music and perform, although her personal struggles remained a defining part of her public image. Britney's story is one of immense talent, overshadowed by mental health struggles, media exploitation, and legal battles. Her fight for freedom and autonomy has inspired many, highlighting the importance of mental health care and the need for better protection for those in the public eye. Akon. Akon, born Aliaune Thiam on April 16, 1973 in St. Louis, Missouri, is an American singer-songwriter, record producer, and entrepreneur who rose to fame in the mid-2000s with his distinctive voice and blend of R&B, hip-hop, and African influences. His 2004 debut album, Trouble, included the massive hits Locked Up and Lonely, which quickly made him a household name. Known for his smooth vocals, catchy hooks, and production talents, Akon became one of the leading artists of the 2000s, dominating the airwaves with a string of successful singles and collaborations with artists like Eminem, Gwen Stefani, and Snoop Dogg. Akon's success didn't stop at music. He quickly ventured into entrepreneurship, founding the record label Convict Music, and launching the careers of artists such as T-Pain and Lady Gaga. His entrepreneurial spirit extended beyond the music industry with ventures in energy and even a plan to build a futuristic city in Senegal, Africa named Akon City, which would run entirely on renewable energy. These efforts gained Akon recognition as a forward-thinking philanthropist and businessman. However, his career has not been without controversy. In 2007, during a performance in Trinidad and Tobago, Akon made headlines for dancing provocatively with a 15-year-old girl at a concert. Despite being a promotional stunt that got out of hand, the incident sparked backlash, with critics accusing him of inappropriate behavior and raising concerns about his responsibility as a public figure. Akon later issued an apology, but the damage to his reputation lingered for some time. Akon's public image was also affected by his comments regarding the diamond trade. In a 2007 interview, he dismissed the existence of blood diamonds, but later admitted that his statement was ignorant. Despite these missteps, Akon managed to maintain his popularity in the music industry, releasing new albums and continuing to tour worldwide. He is also known for his humanitarian efforts, particularly his work in Africa, where he helped bring electricity to millions of people through his Akon Lighting Africa project. While Akon's legacy as an artist is solidified by his hit songs and business ventures, his controversial moments remind us of the complexities of fame. Despite facing backlash for his past actions, he continues to be a key figure in both the music world and in global philanthropy. Akon's story is one of talent, ambition, and the constant balancing act between personal mistakes and global success. Trey Songz. Trey Songz, born on November 28, 1984 in Petersburg, Virginia, emerged as one of R&B's prominent voices in the 2000s. His smooth vocals, combined with his ability to blend hip-hop influences into R&B, quickly set him apart in the genre. After signing with Atlantic Records, Songz debuted in 2005 with I Gotta Make It, which showcased his potential. But it wasn't until his sophomore album Trey Day 2007 that he fully established himself as a leading figure in modern R&B. His hit single Can't Help But Wait earned him widespread recognition and a Grammy nomination, solidifying his place in the music world. Trey Songz' career continued to soar with albums like Ready 2009 and Passion, Pain, and Pleasure 2010, which produced chart-topping singles like Say Ah Neighbors Know My Name and Bottoms Up. His seductive image, combined with his ability to craft songs about love, heartbreak, and desire, earned him a dedicated fan base. His ability to blend sensuality with emotional depth made him a staple in the R&B scene. However, Trey Songz' career has been overshadowed by legal controversies and accusations of misconduct. In 2016, he was involved in a violent altercation at a concert in Detroit, where he attacked a police officer and injured a photographer. The incident ended with his arrest, but it was just one example of his escalating temper and legal issues. In addition to the Detroit incident, Songz has faced numerous allegations of sexual assault, with several women coming forward in the following years to accuse him of misconduct. These accusations have significantly affected his image and reputation in the public eye. Despite these legal troubles, Trey Songz continues to release music, although his reputation has been deeply impacted by the controversies. His ongoing legal issues and accusations have resulted in a tarnished legacy for an artist who at one point seemed poised to become one of R&B's most respected names. Trey Songz' career serves as a reminder that talent alone cannot shield an artist from the consequences of their personal actions. Ike Turner. Ike Turner, born on November 5, 1931 in Clarksdale, Mississippi, was a pioneering musician, songwriter, and bandleader who played a critical role in shaping the sound of R&B and rock and roll. As the leader of the Ike and Tina Turner Revue, Ike's innovative use of rhythm and blues influenced countless artists, and his contributions to rock music are still celebrated. He is credited with creating the hit Rocket 88 in 1951, which is considered by many to be the first rock and roll song. Over the years, he worked with numerous artists, including B.B. King and Howlin' Wolf, and became a respected figure in the industry. However, Ike Turner's legacy is deeply tainted by his abusive behavior, particularly towards his former wife, Tina Turner. While their professional partnership brought them fame, their personal relationship was marked by violence and manipulation. Tina Turner later revealed the extent of the abuse she endured during their marriage, including physical, emotional, and psychological torment. Ike's drug addiction to cocaine exacerbated the violence, and he was often described as controlling and volatile. The couple's marriage, which lasted from 1962 to 1978, ended in divorce after Tina's escape from the abuse in 1976. Tina later became a global superstar in her own right, but Ike's career spiraled downward as a result of his personal issues. Ike Turner's struggles with addiction were well documented. In the 1970s and 1980s, his cocaine use became more severe, leading to a series of legal troubles, including arrests for drug possession. In 1989, a SWAT team raided his home and found large amounts of cocaine. He was convicted and sentenced to 30 days in jail with 3 years of probation. His later years were filled with continued substance abuse, including another arrest in 1991 for attempting to sell drugs. Ike's attempts at a comeback in the 1990s were largely unsuccessful, though he did release a few albums and occasionally performed live. His life and career were marked by a series of personal and legal issues, including his troubled relationships and ongoing battles with addiction. Ike Turner passed away on December 12, 2007, at the age of 76 from a cocaine overdose, marking the end of a career that had been defined by both immense musical talent and a legacy of abuse. While Ike Turner is remembered as a foundational figure in the development of R&B and rock, his personal life and abusive behavior towards Tina Turner overshadow his musical contributions. His story serves as a tragic example of how talent and brilliance can be overshadowed by personal demons, violence, and addiction. Ray J, born on January 17, 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, is an American singer, actor, and entrepreneur. He rose to fame in the late 1990s and early 2000s with his hit singles like One Wish and Let It Go. He was the younger brother of R&B star Brandy, and like her, he entered the entertainment industry at a young age. Ray J began his career as a child actor, landing roles in TV shows like Moesha, where he starred alongside his sister. He later transitioned into music, releasing several albums with his breakout hit One Wish, solidifying his position in the R&B scene. Despite his musical success, Ray J's career has been overshadowed by controversies. His involvement in a widely publicized sex tape with socialite Kim Kardashian in 2007 became one of the most infamous moments in pop culture history. The tape, which was leaked without consent, played a significant role in launching Kardashian's career. Ray J, who was dating Kardashian at the time, faced immense public scrutiny, but the incident also contributed to his fame and brought him further media attention. Over the years, Ray J became more known for his antics and public persona than his music career as the sex tape saga, and his relationships with other celebrities continued to dominate headlines. Beyond the tape, Ray J has had several high-profile relationships, and his reality TV appearances have kept him in the public eye. In 2011, he starred in the reality show For the Love of Ray J. where women competed for his affection. However, his erratic behavior often led to criticism, and his reputation as someone driven by drama rather than talent was reinforced by these appearances. Additionally, in 2011, he was involved in a physical altercation with rapper Fabolous in Las Vegas, which escalated to an arrest after he punched Fabolous in the face. This incident and the subsequent media frenzy only added to his controversial image. Despite these challenges, Ray J has found success in various business ventures. He is a co-founder of the brand Raycon, a popular earbud company, and has pursued a career in technology, furthering his entrepreneurial endeavors. However, his personal life, including the infamous sex tape, continues to overshadow his career, making him one of the more controversial figures in the entertainment world. Ray J's story is a complex one, marked by both his efforts to build a successful career and the ongoing controversies that have shaped his public persona. The Dream Terrius. Young Del Nash, professionally known as The Dream, is an American singer-songwriter and producer who made an indelible mark on modern R&B music. Born on September 20th, 1977 in Rockingham, North Carolina, The Dream's career began as a songwriter and producer, contributing to hits for artists like Mariah Carey, Beyoncé, Rihanna, and Justin Bieber. His work on songs like Umbrella for Rihanna, Single Ladies Put a Ring on It for Beyoncé, and Touch My Body for Mariah Carey cemented his reputation as one of the industry's top producers and hitmakers. In addition to his success behind the scenes, The Dream carved out a solo career with his 2007 debut album, Love Hate, showcasing his unique blend of R&B and electronic influences. The album featured hits like Shawty is a 10 and I Love Your Girl, which helped solidify his presence as a solo artist. His follow-up albums, Love vs. Money, 2009, and Love King, 2010, continued to build on his reputation for crafting catchy, sensual tracks with a mix of electronic pop and R&B elements. His smooth falsetto and distinctive production style earned him a dedicated fan base and critical acclaim. Despite his musical success, The Dream's career has not been without controversy, especially due to his personal life. One of the most notable aspects of his personal life that made headlines was his messy divorce from singer Christina Milian, which was highly publicized. The split, which occurred in 2010 after only a short period of marriage, was riddled with accusations of infidelity and deceit. Milian publicly accused The Dream of cheating on her during their marriage, leading to a high-profile and bitter divorce that added drama to his otherwise professional reputation. The Dream's life took another controversial turn in 2014 when he was arrested for felony assault, strangulation, and child endangerment related to a physical altercation with his then-pregnant ex-girlfriend, Lydia N. The charges were later dropped when Lydia chose not to press charges, but the incident damaged his public image. The Dream was also involved in legal battles over allegations of music plagiarism, including a 2010 lawsuit filed by songwriters who claimed that he stole the song Love vs. Money for his album Love vs. Money. He settled the case without admitting guilt, but the legal controversy lingered. Despite his personal issues, The Dream has continued to remain an influential figure in R&B. He has been credited with shaping the sound of contemporary R&B through his distinct production style, blending elements of electropop with traditional R&B. His success as a writer, producer, and solo artist proves his lasting impact on the genre. Yet his career continues to be overshadowed by his tumultuous personal life and the controversies surrounding his relationships. The Dream's story is one of immense talent balanced with personal and legal struggles that have shaped both his career and public perception. Jay-Z. Jay-Z, born Sean Corey Carter on December 4, 1969 in Brooklyn, New York, is widely considered one of the greatest rappers and entrepreneurs in the history of hip-hop and popular music. Rising from a rough upbringing in the Marcy Projects, Jay-Z used his lyrics to reflect the struggles of his environment, ultimately becoming one of the most influential figures in the music industry. After starting his career in the 1990s with his independent label Roc-A-Fella Records, Jay-Z's debut album Reasonable Doubt, 1996, quickly established him as a rising star in the rap scene. Over the years, Jay-Z went on to release a string of critically acclaimed albums, including The Blueprint 2001 and The Black Album 2003, with hits like Empire State of Mind, 99 Problems, and Dirt Off Your Shoulder, solidifying his place as a musical icon. Beyond his musical achievements, Jay-Z has become a powerful mogul. He expanded his reach with business ventures in fashion, sports, and liquor, most notably founding the Rocawear clothing line, owning a stake in the Brooklyn Nets, and acquiring the streaming service Tidal. His investments and business acumen have earned him a reputation as one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in hip-hop and the wider entertainment world. His partnership with Beyoncé, his wife and fellow superstar, has made them one of the most powerful couples in entertainment. However, Jay-Z's career has not been without controversy. One of the most notable incidents in his life occurred in 1999 when he was involved in a stabbing at the Kit Kat Club in New York City. The altercation stemmed from an issue involving a bootlegged copy of his album Volume 3, Life and Times of S. Carter. Jay-Z allegedly stabbed music executive Lance Rivera, and he was later arrested and charged with third-degree assault. Jay-Z eventually pled guilty, receiving probation for the incident. Despite this early violent episode, Jay-Z's career continued to thrive, and he became one of the most respected figures in both hip-hop and business. In recent years, Jay-Z has become a vocal advocate for social justice causes, using his platform to speak out against systemic racism and push for criminal justice reform. His 444 album, 2017, was praised for its introspective look at his personal life, including his relationship with Beyoncé and his role as a father. Jay-Z's story is a testament to overcoming adversity and building an empire, but his earlier violent history and legal troubles are also part of his complex legacy. His impact on hip-hop and culture cannot be overstated, but his journey also serves as a reminder of how personal mistakes can follow a person throughout their career. Sean Combs Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs, born Sean John Combs on November 4, 1969, in Harlem, New York, is one of the most influential figures in hip-hop and entertainment. Starting his career as an intern at Uptown Records, Combs quickly rose to prominence by discovering and producing artists like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. In 1993, he founded his own label, Bad Boy Records, and went on to sign legendary artists like the notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Mace. Diddy's production style, combined with his ear for talent, made him one of the most successful record executives in the history of hip-hop. His debut album, No Way Out 1997, was a massive success, featuring hits like I'll Be Missing You, a tribute to Biggie Smalls, and Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. This success solidified his place as a prominent figure in the music world. Beyond his music career, Diddy is a multifaceted entrepreneur. He launched his own clothing line, Sean John, which became a massive success in the early 2000s, and he later expanded into the beverage industry, investing in Ciroc vodka. His business savvy and ability to leverage his fame into a variety of successful ventures have made him one of the wealthiest figures in entertainment. Additionally, his media empire, which includes his television network Revolt, has further solidified his status as an entertainment mogul. However, Diddy's career has been marred by several controversial incidents. He has been involved in multiple lawsuits and legal battles throughout his career. In 1999, Diddy was arrested after a shooting at a nightclub in New York City, which also involved rapper Shyne. While the charges against Diddy were eventually dropped, the incident tarnished his image. Another controversy erupted in 2015 when Diddy was arrested for assaulting his son's UCLA football coach. The assault, which stemmed from a dispute over his son's treatment, led to a public backlash and raised questions about Diddy's temper and aggressive behavior. Perhaps the most shocking controversy surrounding Diddy came in 2024 when his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit accusing him of physical abuse, trafficking, and coercion. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy had subjected Cassie to years of abuse and manipulation. Although the case was settled within a day and the lawsuit dismissed it, resurfaced an ongoing narrative of abuse that had been tied to his relationships. Additionally, footage from 2016 showed Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a hotel, leading to public outrage and a criminal investigation. Despite these controversies, Diddy remains a major figure in entertainment and business. He has maintained his success through his music business ventures and media presence, and he continues to be an influential figure in the hip-hop community. However, his violent history and ongoing legal battles remain a significant part of his story. Diddy's legacy is one of immense success, but also one that is deeply intertwined with scandal and controversy, making him one of the more complicated figures in modern entertainment. Joe Tex. Joe Tex, born on August 8, 1933 in Rogers, Texas, was one of the most influential R&B artists of the 1960s and early 1970s, known for his energetic stage presence, soulful voice, and innovative blend of rhythm and blues with elements of gospel and funk. His music was filled with catchy hooks, bold social messages, and a unique blend of humor and passion. Tex's most famous hits include Hold What You Got, I Gotcha, and Skinny Legs, and all songs that became staples in the R&B genre. Tex began his career as a gospel singer and eventually moved into secular music influenced by artists like Ray Charles and James Brown. His big break came in the late 1950s and early 1960s when he signed with King Records and began to establish his own unique sound. His 1965 hit I Gotcha became his biggest song and remains a classic in the soul and R&B genre. Known for his smooth vocal delivery and witty lyrics, Tex quickly earned a reputation as a dynamic performer with a charismatic stage presence. However, while Joe Tex's career was rising, his personal life was marked by several controversies. One of the most publicized aspects of his life was his tumultuous relationship with fellow R&B star Tina Turner. In the late 1960s, Tex was reportedly romantically involved with Turner while she was still married to Ike Turner, leading to a highly publicized love triangle that attracted significant media attention. Tex himself was known for his volatile personality, which led to his own personal struggles with relationships and legal issues throughout his life. In the early 1970s, Tex's career began to slow down despite having a series of hits. He became increasingly involved in religious studies and began to focus more on the spiritual aspects of his life, eventually leaving the music scene. Joe Tex's move away from music for spiritual and personal growth ultimately led to his decline in popularity, though he remained a respected figure in the R&B community. Tex's personal struggles were compounded by health problems, and in 1982, after years of battling illness, he passed away from a heart attack at the age of 49. Though his career was relatively short, Joe Tex's impact on the soul and R&B genres cannot be overstated. His legacy lives on through his energetic music and charismatic performances, and he remains an influential figure for many artists who followed in his footsteps. Joe Tex's story is one of immense talent, personal conflict, and spiritual reflection, a combination that made him both a beloved artist and a figure surrounded by intrigue. In the world of R&B, talent often shines brightly, but some of the genre's biggest stars have also been embroiled in scandal, controversy, and criminal behavior. From Rick James's violent outbursts to R. Kelly's shocking crimes, these artists have left behind legacies marred by personal flaws. While their music continues to influence generations, their actions offstage remind us that greatness often comes with a dark side. Who do you think is the worst jerk in R&B history? And how do you separate an artist's talent from their personal mistakes? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence.